Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. My American friends are very familiar probably with this expression, fuck around and find out. And that's exactly what Estonia is about to experience. It fucked around with Russia and now it finds out. And Estonia doesn't like what's going on. Well, I make this video not to bash Estonia. I make this video as a warning for Romania, for Latvia, for Lithuania, for Poland, for countries with big mouth. Countries with big mouth will have their mouth closed, shut by a stronger guy. Now, Estonia is a country with 1.3 million people, total population. And this country had a big mouth directed towards the Russian Federation, 145 million people, the biggest country on this planet, and with the biggest nuclear arsenal, including the military, conventional, however you want to take it. So Estonia was pushed, or maybe it's just an, I don't know, kind of hatred towards the Russians, conflating the Soviets with the Russians. That's a problem that was thought in the imbeciles in Romania as well, to conflate the Russians with the Soviets, which is a big mistake. Why? I want you to verify and look into the names of the so-called Russians in the Bolshevik Revolution, okay? And who were in charge of Russia until about 161, 62. After Khrushchev left, then the Russians came into power. Until then, where it was the most horrific time in Soviet Union and in the Eastern Bloc, were not Russians in charge. There was someone else. Go and check it out. That's why if you make I'm going to discuss this in another video. That's why I will keep my mouth shut. So what happened? I made a video earlier today reporting that the Russians seized a vessel from Estonia that entered the territorial waters of the Russian Federation. The Estonians claim that this vessel, the route was also agreed upon with the Russians, and therefore it was allowed, due to whatever situation, to go into the territorial waters of the Russian Federations. And the Russians, if you look down here in the description box below, you're gonna see two links. These are two of my videos. I'm not going to go over them again. You just go and access them. This is the name of today's video, and you're going to find out when I spoke and I presented news about Estonia harassing Russia in the Baltic Sea. Seized one of Russia's vessels over there, impounded it, and so on. So Estonia threw the first stone at Russia, and now Russia did the same thing to them, and oy vey, Estonia is very upset and cries victim. And what's new? Estonia is just like Ukraine, used by other interests through other countries to do something to Russia. And Estonia fucks around, is going to find out. And the Estonians, unfortunately, found out, not the guys in charge of Estonia, which I don't think they work for the interest of the Estonian people. So, Russia Today. This is from today, 19th of May. Yeah, the video not that one. The video right there was made, I think today, on the 19th. So this article right here is the 19th. The Baltic country accuses Russia of detaining oil tanker. But that particular Estonia country also did the same thing to the Russian Federation's tanker. And now it's not okay? The reported incident comes days after Estonia attempted to inspect a vessel sailing from Russia. Estonian authorities have accused Russia of detaining a tanker carrying shale oil from the Baltic country. The incident reportedly took place not long after Tallinn attempted to inspect a vessel sailing from Russia. I covered that, as I said, in these videos right here. Go and get their links right here. Western nations imposed maritime restrictions on Russian and an oil price cap on the country's crude exports following the escalation. They have since accused Russia of circumventing the restrictions by using a so-called shadow fleet of tankers, which operates outside Western insurance systems. Western insurance. As I said, early in this garbage in Ukraine. The Russians will form an alternative insurance system, alternative global institutions, alternative United Nations kind of things. They will form with China, with India, with the other guys. Otherwise, they will be always blackmailed by these guys. If I were Russia, I would do this. If I could, I would use my navy as much as I have, armed navy, with my tankers. And if a foreign nation will approach me, I will say, come closer, I will just pop, this is a warning shot. And I will shoot. I will defend my tanker from you. I don't recognize your insurance system. I don't recognize it. That's what I would do. What are you gonna do? Attack me? I will fuck you up in no time. Anyway, but the Russians are nicer than me, it seems like. In a statement on Sunday, Estonia's foreign ministry claimed earlier in the day the Russian Federation detained the oil tanker Green Admire, sailing under the Liberian flag and owned by a Greek company, as it was departing from the Estonian port of Sillamäe and followed the previously agreed routes through Russian territorial waters. According to officials in Tallinn, the vessel entered Russian waters under trilateral agreement between Moscow, Tallinn and Helsinki to avoid shallows. Estonian Foreign Ministry stated that this is definitely connected to the fact that we have started to harass Russian shadow fleet. Correct. Don't do it. Back the fuck off. Clear. I'm gonna shoot. There it is. All right. This minister revealed last week Estonian authorities attempted to inspect, that means to board, an unflagged and uninsured vessel. But who the fuck are you? Which was passing through its exclusive economic zone under suspicion that has been sanctioned by the UK and belongs to the Russian. So UK sanctioned and Estonia enforces. You got who's who and what's what. Who's in charge of UK? Because UK is weak. Someone, the UK is in charge of Estonia, and who's in charge of UK? The global interests. A Russian fighter jet briefly violated Estonia's airspace while accompanying the tanker. You got that? That means back the fuck off. These guys don't get it. So Nikolai Patrushev, a senior aide to the Russian President Vladimir Putin, last month said, I covered that as well, the EU, and that's one of these two, I think is the second one right here, all right? The EU and the UK were mulling further restrictions to disrupt Moscow shipping activities that increasingly resemble maritime blockade, but he said, our Navy will take care of you. The official who chairs Russian Maritime Board warned the hotheads in London or Brussels that Moscow would not hesitate to deploy its navy to ensure the security of Russian shipping should diplomatic or legal instruments prove ineffective. So what does that mean? Exactly what I said. Fuck around and you find out. That's exactly what's going on here. And Estonia will be used as Ukraine was used against the Russians. And after we're done with Ukraine, they're going to get the baboons in Poland, in Latvia, in Lithuania, and Romania. And they will get Georgia if they can, but they lost there for a while. And they will try it with Armenia. They lost there for a while. Armenia, not yet. The problem with Armenia is that Georgia is not cooperating with the guys from London. That's all. If today Georgia will be with Djugashvili, Shakashvili, I guarantee you Armenia will say, you know what, that's it, NATO troops tomorrow here. We invite you. And then the Russians will invade Armenia. That's what they will do. And they all know it. They know it as they knew the Russians will invade Ukraine if they dare to do what they did for 8 years. For 8 years, from 2014 to 2022. They did it then, and the Russians told them, "Don't do it. Don't do it. That's a red line. We're gonna go to war." And the other guy said, "I don't think so. And if you do, our profiteers are waiting. Just go." So again, when Estonia will be smacked. And as I mentioned in the other video, Estonia will not be smacked. Estonia requires only when you sleep and you turn around a little bit and you squish something like a cockroach. All right, sorry for the representation like that, but that's what the Russians, if the Russian bear just, Estonia, sorry, oh fuck, too late. That's what they will do to Estonia. And if they do it again, they're going to do it to Latvia, and they do it again, they're going to do Lithuania. And then Poland, maybe Poland will learn. Poland as Polish people, not the guys in charge. Because remember, Sikorsky, I think it's MI6, Mr. Tusk, the prime minister, is sold out, and Duda, I think, is in no man's land. So that country can get the same as Zelensky-Stein and Yermak-Stein and Zmyhal-Stein and Reznikov-Stein got the Ukrainian nation into a war with their brothers. Well, whose fault? I don't know. Freedom and democracy, I guess. And wait, now the Romanians got a guy over there who might get the Romanians in the war. Why? They just voted, and the acting president right now, is having the torch. And this guy, Nicu Șordan, the elected one, is going to get a torch and is going to push it forward to a war with Russia. They voted, the parliament, Romanian parliament, voted to allow the Romanian military to shoot down any Russian drone that crosses the airspace of Romania. I thought it was something that was, what do you mean? They had to vote a law right now? I thought it was a common practice. You enter, violate my space, dead. And then I ask questions to the dead. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what did you do? Oh, they won't answer. I tell you what happened, because they can't talk. Dead people cannot talk unless you think you're a psychic or something. All right? So that's what the Romanians will do. The Romanians will shoot probably some Russian drones, not only that cross in Romania, which I'm okay with that. Protect your nation that is not occupied by NATO and the European Union. It's not. Okay, they will shoot across the Danube River into Reni and into the other Ismail ports on the Danube River. The ones that the Russians attack, the Ukrainian ports, which are actually Romanian. But hey, I'm not going to go into historical evidence now. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Estonia, back the fuck off. That's a warning, a friendly reminder, a gentle reminder. But they don't care. They destroyed the Soviet monuments that liberated their country from the Nazis. That means they like the other guys? I'm not sure. Remember, more than 20% of people living in Estonia, 1.3 million people, 20% of that is what? About 250,000 are Russian, ethnic Russians. So you have 20%, almost 25% of your population potentially spies rooting for another country. What are you going to do about it? You're going to deport them? Exchange of population? What are you going to do? Ethnic cleansing? I think this, if you keep going for about one more year, the European Union will go to that. European Union, I guarantee you, will go to that, and it will call it a humanitarian ethnic exchange of population. They will find euphemisms to tell you ethnic cleansing clear. I mean, don't believe me? Listen to their statements. Listen to the statement. And they want to go to war. And that day, you will go to war for them. That's the problem. And now it's going to be Estonia. Estonia is as I said many times before, the Russians are like a tiger or like a lion. You know, in old days when you were allowed to have animals at circus, you had a tamer or a trainer, the guy in charge of the animals. They used to, when I was a kid in Romania, they had this kind of circuses with a big tent and all that. We tried to get in and we tried to not pay, and we got caught, beaten up and kicked out and so on. And eventually we got in, oh my God, and we were beaten up. So anyway, we got in, and we got in those stands, and we were waiting for the lions and the tigers. Always, that's all I want to see. I didn't care about the clowns, the elephants, the horses, the snakes. I didn't care about those baboons. I cared about the lions and the tigers. That's when I went over there. Is there any tiger over there? Yeah, there's tigers. Got across that freaking, go through those, how do you call it? They used to put some metal fences, and you can go through as a kid, and they would catch you and beat you up. Anyway, many times. All right, so maybe that explains a few things here. So you go over there, and they used to put some big cage, tall cage, and they had people with water hose ready to, if the tiger acts out, or the lion. And it was the tamer, the trainer, the guy inside with a long whip, and with a long, I don't know, about 9 feet long pole. And it was poking the tiger, and sometime the tiger or the lion will figure out that after fighting with trying to catch the whip or catch the pole, sometimes figure out that those are just the Lithuanians, the Estonians, the Ukrainians, the Romanians, the Poles, and actually behind all that, it's United Kingdom, United States, the globalists, the interest, and sometimes will jump on the tamer and fuck him up. And these guys, oh my god! By the time they were first, the tiger did what he was supposed to. Fucked up the tamer. Whatever. But remember, the Poles, the Baltic states, the Romanians, these guys are used, the Ukrainians, as the pole to poke the tiger or the whip. And when the tiger is not fighting this and realizes, wait a second, these are just extremities of that. That's the head office. And we jump on that, game over. That's why Russia might one day take care of the tamer, which is, the globalists in charge of various Western countries. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It might be Estonia's time right now. And I guarantee you after Estonia is going to be fucked up, these guys are going to cry victim. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. And they will activate Romania, or Poland, or Latvia, or Lithuania. These are the main candidates. See you next time. Ciao.